Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, where we break down developments that truly matter to currency holders and investors. Today, we're examining a series of updates that could significantly reshape how the financial world views the Iraqi dinar. What we're about to cover isn't just another rumor or recycled speculation. These insights are supported by recent releases from the Central Bank of Iraq and recognized if you currently hold IQD or are considering entering the market, this information could mark a pivotal moment. Stay with us to understand what's changing and how it might affect your financial strategy. Let's start with the fundamentals. The real value of a currency isn't always reflected by the numbers shown on your banking app or a foreign exchange screen. Recently, the Central Bank of Iraq has made public a series of economic assessments pointing to a potentially understated valuation of the dinar. The core of this analysis lies in a metric known as the Real Effective Exchange Rate, or REER. Unlike nominal exchange rates that simply compare one currency against another, the REER adjusts for inflation and measures strength relative to a basket of global currencies. It's a more accurate reflection of economic competitiveness on the world stage. When Iraq's central bank reports improvement in this area, it means the dinar is gaining appeal for international trade. That, in turn, implies increasing confidence in Iraq's economy and fiscal trajectory. But the story doesn't stop there. The World Trade Organization has now also taken notice. Their involvement signals more than surface-level interest. It suggests that Iraq is taking steps toward deeper integration with global markets. Such a move often precedes economic reforms and trade agreements that could ultimately impact the value of a nation's currency. This brings up a critical question. Is Iraq preparing for a revaluation of its currency? It's a possibility worth exploring. When the REER climbs due to structural improvements and international support, the currency tends to attract more investment. That added demand increases the dinar's buying power. It's a cycle. Growth encourages value, and value encourages more growth. The more external demand there is for IQD, the greater the potential for a rise in its worth. So what does this mean if you're already holding dinar? Simply put, if the value increases, your purchasing power does too. A denomination that was once worth very little could see a significant jump. Imagine a 10,000 dinar note gaining meaningful dollar value. This isn't just theory, it's how market corrections work when confidence returns. While nothing has officially changed yet, the underlying signals are hard to ignore. The strategic move for many right now may simply be to hold and watch closely. There's no shortage of skeptics in the market, and that's understandable. But what's happening now isn't driven by online rumors or casual investor chatter. The data being released by Iraq's central banking authorities is being shared with global financial bodies, reviewed, and taken seriously. The fact that these findings are now being echoed by organizations like the WTO gives the situation added credibility. Let's also take a moment to clarify what a revaluation means in practical terms. A currency revaluation is when a central bank formally adjusts the value of its currency upward. This isn't something that happens randomly. It's a calculated decision that usually reflects improvements in economic health. If Iraq's monetary policy heads in that direction, current dinar holders could see a marked increase in the value of their holdings. And interestingly, there are growing indications that Iraq might not opt for a redenomination strategy like removing zeros, which has been done in countries such as Turkey and Brazil. Instead, if the value increases without changing the structure of the currency itself, that benefits existing holders. Your current bills would remain valid, but their value would be enhanced. Consider a 10,000 IQD note suddenly being valued at $32.00, or even more in some scenarios. That's the kind of movement that excites long-term investors. Inflation also plays a critical role in this equation. Iraq, like many developing economies, has wrestled with inflation for years, but in recent times, reforms and smarter management of oil revenues have brought more stability. As inflation levels off and revenue streams strengthen, the foundation for a healthier currency becomes stronger. The CBI's recent reports suggest they see these improvements unfolding in real time. To understand why today's developments matter, it helps to look at how far Iraq's economy has come. Over the past 10 years, the dinar has been through extreme volatility. Much of that came from conflict, political instability, and sanctions. But since around 2021, meaningful progress has started to take root. Infrastructure is being rebuilt, oil exports are up, and transparency in government institutions is gradually improving. These are foundational signs of long-term economic stabilization, and that matters more than speculation ever will. For early investors who entered the market during times of deep uncertainty, some returns are already visible, and if the current momentum continues, a larger shift may be coming. Of course, risk still exists. All currencies, especially in emerging markets, come with volatility, but when that risk is weighed against tangible economic reforms, international cooperation, and positive indicators, and in some cases worth the wait. So what should you do right now? If you already hold IQD, this could be a good time to review your strategy. Are you holding for long-term gains, considering expanding your position, or contemplating an exit? These are personal decisions, but they should always be guided by facts and not hype. Long-term holders may find that maintaining their current stake while monitoring official updates is the smartest course of action. If you're new to the foreign currency market, now is a good moment to study up. Research the Central Bank of Iraq's reports, follow global economic news, and understand how policy changes affect currency values. Never rely on promises from unknown sources or speculative online forums. Reputable data is your greatest asset. Let's not overlook one of Iraq's strongest advantages: oil. As one of the top global oil producers, Iraq benefits greatly from high oil prices. Revenue from exports flows into national reserves, which are then used to stabilize the economy and pay off debt. A growing reserve of foreign currency empowers the central bank with the financial backing needed to make policy moves like revaluation possible. This is why recent economic reports are getting so much attention in the financial world. The foundation for a major shift is being laid brick by brick. Many of you may be waiting for that one official announcement, the signal that the dinar's value has finally shifted. While it's impossible to predict the exact timing, we can observe the buildup. The trend lines are pointing in a positive direction, and large financial institutions are beginning to take notice. Big moves often begin with quiet signs. That's why staying informed, patient, and ready is essential. So what's the best move forward? Continue tracking updates from trusted sources. Know how much dinar you own, where it's stored, and what your plan is if changes occur. Speak with a financial advisor who understands global currencies and the unique challenges of emerging markets. And most importantly, don't let hype distract you from sound strategy. The most successful investors aren't those who jump at every headline. They're the ones who prepare quietly, move confidently, and adjust their course based on verified information. The signals coming from the Central Bank of Iraq and organizations like the WTO aren't random. They are deliberate, calculated, and reflective of something bigger happening behind the curtain. As always, stay cautious of anyone promising quick returns or special rates unavailable to the public. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Stick to credible channels and financial institutions. And never share your currency or personal details with unverified sources, no matter how convincing they sound. Bringing it all together, the real strength of the Iraqi dinar is no longer just a matter of speculation. It's backed by economic data, growing international interest, and financial reforms that are actively being implemented. Whether you're already holding IQD or just exploring the idea, now's the time to pay close attention. Every indicator matters. Every shift in language from official institutions could signal change. The ones who benefit most will be those who acted with clarity and patience. Thanks for watching Iraqi Dinar News. If today's update gave you something to think about, hit the like button, share this video with others monitoring the market, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. We'll continue to follow the signals, verify the data, and keep you informed every step of the way. Stay sharp, stay cautious, and above all, stay ready.